Hello, everyone. Alexis is trying to connect. I don't know if the bad weather is just affecting internet and everything else, but I wanted to go ahead and get us started. Welcome to the Buck and 2MC show with Buck, hopefully appearing and connecting as soon as she can. Obviously, disappointing loss for Tennessee, 80-70 on the road. Obviously fought all the way to the end. If you didn't see the game, it was within 2 points midway through the fourth quarter, and Tennessee was not able to pull out the win against the Aggies. The Aggies are now 10-1. Obviously, they lost to an excellent team. Lady Vols are now 12-5 and clinging to that third place spot in the standings, with more basketball still to be played this weekend and Monday night. Obviously, the biggest question I know that everyone has is what happens next. I mean, it is a snow and ice storm and here is Buck.
What's up, everybody?
Hello. I didn't know if you were going to be able to make it. And sometimes bad weather affects everyone's internet provider, no matter even if it's coming from close by or far away. So glad you could make it. I pointed out, obviously, that disappointing loss for Tennessee. They were right there in the fourth quarter. Fell 80-70. Kelly, we had a very rushed post game after the show. They were having technical difficulties getting Kelly on. We got her on. We only had her for about 6 minutes. She had to go. I mean, that bus, they're trying to get to the Houston airport. And I'll play a quick clip from Kelly because I asked her, I mean, what do you do from here? You're trying to go to Starkville in a snow and an ice storm. So let me share that real quick.
It's an absolute mess, Maria. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know what exactly is. I've got to go in here and find out because we got to bus to Houston, and then we're going to get on a plane, and I'll have to find out where we're going. I mean, I don't even think we can get in anywhere in Mississippi State right now. So it is a mess. So I apologize, but I'm really not sure what the outcome of this trip will be.
Well,
I will clear that out. I mean, right now, Starkville, the whole state of Mississippi is about to get hit. I'm not sure Tennessee needs to try to fly to Mississippi. I'm not even sure they could get out to come home and play South Carolina Thursday. So obviously not the outcome Tennessee wanted, but also not the playing conditions you really like either. Their bus got stuck after shoot around. I mean, just were you able to see the game, Alexis? What are your thoughts?
I feel like a broken record sometimes, but we have to learn to close out games. Basketball is a game of runs. We had good runs, and then we had some crucial turnovers down the stretch. I believe Ray Burrell had back-to-back turnovers. One was a travel, one she forced a drive, lost the ball. We just got to finish plays. It's just the little things, like literally the little things. And you might not think it matters that you decided to get an early foul or they're getting paid points in the first 2 minutes, the first quarter. But that one stop that you didn't get might be that stop that was needed for either a momentum switch or for us to get a bucket on the other end. And when we learn to value each and every possession, no matter what, we will close out these games. We're right there. And like I said last show, we're showing more fight, which I love, but we got to have that fight and finish it. You know what I mean? Like, we got to keep our foot on their throats and not let up, and if we're behind and we're trying to get back and cut the lead, we got to fight like hell to do that. And then once we get there, now one stop at a time, one score at a time, and we close out the game and finish it and make our free throws. Jesus.
Yeah, speaking of free throws, Tennessee was actually 11 of 15. They cleaned it up there at the end because Ray and Renaya hit theirs, and they hit theirs down the stretch.
Right.
A&M was 25 of 34. I mean, 34 free throw attempts for A&M, 15 for Tennessee, and both teams play a physical, tough game and want to get to the rim. I never blame a loss on officials because, like you said, Tennessee had the opportunity to take care of the ball a little bit better down the stretch. But officials can affect the outcome of a game. And in a game that was within 2 to 3 points midway through the fourth quarter, there's your ball game. I mean, that game was lost at the line. Tennessee actually cleaned up their free throws, but that's a despair. I asked Kelly about it very briefly, and I said, was it difficult to win a game with that kind of free throw disparity on the road? And, coaches cannot complain about officials. That's not allowed. And she said, it's difficult to win a game anywhere under those circumstances, and we'll take a look at it. But you could tell she was mad. And I don't blame her. I mean, they're running that ball through Cassie and Tamari and not getting either one of them to the line. So we jumped in so fast, I forgot to say, hey, take care of our sponsors. The show's brought to you by Orange Mountain Designs, our lead sponsor. Great stuff about the Lady Vols. Obviously, Blue Water Climate Control, Tennessee Tap House. Alexis, when I tell you that free throw disparity, you've been on the other end of that. What goes through your mind?
As a player, if I'm in the game, I'm livid. Now, Maria, I probably would have gotten a tech in that game because it was like some of the calls they were making was like, are you serious? How do you call this on this end and not call it on that end? Or what are you watching? Like, and it's frustrating as a player, especially when you're facing a great team on their home court. You don't expect, certain calls, but you don't expect to get cheated. And I'm not saying we got cheated because we had to handle our business, take care of the ball, knock down big shots, get more stops down the stretch. That's very important. But like you said, when the refs take the momentum from you, everything you do seems wrong or ends up in a turnover or a foul or get fouled and you don't get a call. It gets discouraging, and that's tough. And you have to be mentally tough to try to endure that. And I probably would flip. I would have either got close to a tech or a tech for sure. Without a doubt, Maria.
Yeah, obviously I live tweet the game, and I'm going to tweet us out that we're live. Obviously, I had really mad Tennessee fans in my feed, and honestly, I can't blame them. But is that ever going to change? No, it's not. Somebody asked earlier, how do you get to the line, or something about how do you get free throws if you rely on the refs to call them? It's the only way you get to the line. That whistle has to blow.
Whistle
didn't blow for Tennessee.
Not only that, real quick, when we're in the paint, if our Lady Vols are listening to this or their parents or whoever that talk to them, when Green or Key or whoever's in the post, if you're not getting no calls, go through somebody. I'd rather see us go up so strong, we get an offensive foul, that without a shadow of a doubt, I guarantee the next time if we went up the same exact way, we would get the call in our favor. And I think sometimes frustration set in and we got a little soft on the post, and you can't get soft plus not get calls. That you can't compound that together.
And I want to take up for Jordan Horst in a minute because it keeps coming up. She's playing with a very bad back, and I could tell on every shot attempt she took that her back was hurting her because you're not on balance and you're struggling to hit. You got a lot of players from Tennessee gutting it out right now. Marta Suarez hit 2 big threes. She probably has no business playing on that foot, but she said it's going to hurt. I can't do anything about it. Can't fix it till off season. She wants to get on the floor. So Tennessee is definitely a walking wounded team right now. And yeah, do you want more offensive production at the point? Absolutely. But right now, you got players out there that are playing through a considerable amount of pain. So just please keep that in mind when you're talking about any of the point guard play or Marta or anybody else. I would appreciate it.
Yeah, and not only that, fans, what y'all don't realize sometimes is, Maria said it, like a lot of athletes, almost all athletes, we're trained to play through injuries. And sometimes it's actually not the smartest decision for our future to continue playing through those injuries. So you're talking about feet problems, back problems. Those are things that can affect you for life. We know we love this game. We love, all the women that have played before us that are playing now. But at the end of the day, you should be clapping your hands and congratulating the players that are out on the court, toughing it out, because I know how hard it is to want to get healthy, want to do the right things, get the right amount of rest. But truth be told, you don't have that luxury when you're in season, especially in a pandemic season when games are canceled and rescheduled, at the drop of a dime. And trust me, when I broke my wrist, I came back and played with a broken wrist because I didn't want to let my team down. But at the same time, I was still in pain. So I would say pat them on the back instead of chastising them and saying what they didn't do. Look at what they brought to the table despite their injuries. And I'm not sure if this is my internet because it is a little slow, or if Maria's froze, but big shout out to our fans that are watching on Facebook, YouTube Locker Room, Twitter, Volunteer Roadshow. Bobby, what's up? Let me see. I hope this isn't mine. Can you guys hear Maria, or is my computer frozen? Please let me know. Can y'all hear me? All right, I'm going to continue while Maria, okay, you can hear me. Thank you. All right, I'm going to continue till Maria hops back on. So let me get to some of these questions. Guys, bear with me because y'all been very active, which I appreciate. So let me catch up. Does this hurt us in the rankings? Karen, that is a Maria question. Honestly, don't even know how Texas A&M is ranked number 6 based on their strength of schedule and the games that they won. So honestly, I'm not quite sure how they're doing this down the stretch. Reed came out strong today. When you're coming off quarantine, you haven't really been getting up and down that court. It's different. It's definitely a lot harder. So, what else do we have? Since we're slim, Jessica said, since we are slim at PG and Horston's hurt, anywhere else you can see us picking up some of the offensive production. It's going to come down to the bigs and keeping, Davis healthy. When Jordan Walker comes out and plays great on both ends, that's a plus. Obviously, you have Ray Burrell stepping up, and our bigs have to take care of business, and that's it. But it's going to come down to defense, really. It's not really about the offensive production because your defense starts your offense. Great defense will typically translate into good offense. So I would say we need to really focus on the defensive end first in order to up our offensive production. Kimberly said, I've had plantar fasciitis and given birth naturally. Trust me, the foot pain was worse. I have plantar fasciitis, and it's very painful. I have terrible knees. Some things you just don't get over. You just play through, and some days you can't tell, and some games you don't look as good or move as fluently as you typically do. So it's just a part of life, a part of the game. Let me see. Free throws disparities definitely kind of affected us today. We have to be able to find a way to separate ourselves from these teams where the refs aren't really a factor. So we can't keep getting close games, especially in away games, and then, look at we didn't get to the free throw line as much as A&M, or, the refs down the stretch didn't make these calls. What if we didn't give them a chance to be a factor in our win? So that's what I'm kind of looking for. And again, that goes back to defense, great defense generating good offense. Maria, welcome back.
Yeah, my internet, everything, power went out. I'll blip for a bit, made it back. I see a question already. How do we stop fouling three-point shooters? Yeah, you can't do that. That second one, she kicked her leg out. That was, with these officials, that was going to be easy to do because the foul disparity was tremendous. So it's you don't want to foul three-point shooters, though. As poorly as A&M was shooting from the line, that wasn't necessarily a bad strategy.
Hey, hey, what's up, Doris? I saw you say what's up a couple times. I like this. Do you see Tony Hill's comment in the Facebook, Maria?
I get positive. Why not we calling out the negative? Why? Because anybody can call out the negative. That's what, I'll be honest, that's what losers do. They focus on the negative. Winners focus on what you did wrong and moving forward. If you don't like my bluntness, then you probably won't like me because I am blunt.
Not only that, holding them accountable for their actions. Again, playing tougher in the post down the stretch throughout the game, that's definitely not a positive. That means we're not doing it and we need to do it, correct? Getting stops down the stretch, knocking down free throws, putting the game out of reach for the referees to make a difference. I think when you say negative, you were looking for it to come off kind of in maybe a different type of tone. But bottom line is we address the issues, because I'm not the type of person, Maria's not the type of person to allow, nonsense to happen with our Lady Vols and then just co-sign it. No, I can't do that. I come of the Pat Summitt era, and it's virtually impossible. I'm not even made to do that. So that's where we're at, Tony. But I am very interested if you would like to type out your response and tell me what you think we could have done better and what we need to do to win games like this.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to break it down and tell you what Tennessee did wrong and what they can do better. But if you're going to zero in on one specific player to target, this isn't a good place for you. It's just not.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Kimberly said we were outscored 22 to 7 on bench points. Definitely can't happen. That just can't happen. And I know that we're limited, but it cannot happen.
No, and part of that is Tennessee's hurt, but also, you need a little bit more. I also do not want to overlook how good Texas A&M is. They are 10-1 in this conference. The only team that got them was LSU in a very close game, and LSU gives everybody fits. The other thing is they start 4 seniors and 1 sophomore. That is a very experienced team. And Tony, I'm not questioning you being a fan of the team. I'm just not sure you understand the purpose of this show. We're not going to drill into one particular player and go after her. In the case of Jordan Horston, she also had 7 assists. She's playing with a terrible back. That affects a shooter. The problem is there's nobody else really to come in and take those minutes because Tennessee's got injury issues. So, and it's not just about talent in the SEC, Tony. It's about experience. You could be as talented as you want out of high school, but to play at the SEC level in a physical game on the road it also experience makes a huge difference. And I'm getting, just if you don't want to see it, that's fine. I'm not asking you to see it, but this is not the kind of show to come in here and go after the Lady Vols. It just is not.
Donna, no excuses. A&M is a great team. Yeah, they are a great team, and they've actually played like one of the toughest, if not the toughest schedule across the entire NCAA, and somehow the games that they won versus the game they lost places them at 6. I don't understand that as far as rankings are concerned, but it does come down to experience, your roster, so injuries play a factor in that, and unfortunately the pandemic plays a factor. I was pleasantly surprised at how Davis hit the court today because she could have been gassed. She might not have had her legs. She might not have had that much to give, yet she did whatever she needed to do to come back and give her all to the team. And I definitely applaud her for that. And it's good to see her back healthy and safe on the court.
And Renee is also a senior and a 4-year starter. Those kind of things make a difference. She knows where that tank is. She knows how to handle a game like this. It makes a huge difference. But 10 days off in quarantine, you're not allowed to work out at all. She would not have gotten back on the court until Friday. And then Saturday's obviously a travel day, and you're not going to do much. She showed us a lot with the way she played today. And I continue to think that these games, they will help Tennessee going forward, especially in the postseason. These are games that you learn from. And I will also point out, as I've said before, Tennessee's ahead of schedule, in my opinion. I expected this kind of jump in year 3, not year 2. So far, I think they're moving ahead of schedule.
Not only that, I like to, play the best of both worlds. And as a former Lady Vol, it's frustrating that we're not, winning these games, or we're not number 1 or 2 in the SEC, or we're not, in Final Fours yet consistently. Is it frustrating? Of course. I'm just as frustrated as you are as fans, as Maria is, as a writer, as a fan, as someone who's actually been with the team. But at the end of the day, there has to be something where we say, yeah, we're learning from these losses. Great. We're looking better. Great. We're ahead of schedule. Great. But we are the University of Tennessee. We are the Lady Vols. When do we just do it? When do we just get it done? When do we close out games? When do people begin to fear us again? Is it going to happen overnight? No. But I see it coming. I definitely see it coming. And we just got to stay positive, keep encouraging these young ladies, especially now. Where it's not only a physical game, but mental health is real. And the more positivity that they can hear from us, the more support. I mean, be honest with it. You don't have to say we played well when we looked terrible, but you also don't have to tear down the team when we look terrible. So let's continue to uplift each other, but most importantly, uplift these girls and the coaching staff.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. They get plenty of people in their ear, they get a lot of all you have to do is jump on any social media site and it's brutal. And so we take an approach here. We'll point out what went wrong and we'll look at what went right. But we're not here to tear these teams down or pretend like we're the coach of the team or, call out individual players repeatedly. And that's basically what we are. And it's needed, because if you're on the internet, all you see is a ton of garbage on the internet. It is a toxic place to be. As far as how it affects them in the standings, the SEC, there's no way to have a balanced standing in the SEC this year. There's been too many postponed games or canceled games. You just have to get through this season and see where it all stands in terms of you'll be ranked based on how many SEC wins you have. And based on, if you have a team that's 8-3 and 7-3, well, that team that's 8-3 has a slot above you. They won one more game. So, but nobody can control what's going to happen with this schedule. So I don't know if they're going to get to Starkville or not, and I'm not even sure it's a good idea. I did see Caroline Striplin's stat line. It was impressive. She's a freshman coming in next year. I will caution, high school stats do not transfer to college at all. You're playing in a high school in a state where maybe no one on that other team can guard you. Now, do you want a kid that can score and rebound and dish assist? Absolutely. If you're not going, you better be able to do all those things. But there is no way that you could say that high school stats transfer to college. Tony, how come you can't speak the truth? I wanted them to win. Tony, you want to start your own show? You can speak all the truth you want there. This is called the Buck and 2MC show, and you're really starting to get on my nerves and take over this conversation. So just hit the chill button, please. Tammy Brown is here. That is, for those who don't know, that is Tamari Key's mother.
What's up?
And so discuss this. Why did we go away from the paint second half? Do you think Texas A&M adjusted, or we just stopped using it as one of our best options? Tammy, I asked Kelly that exact same thing, because in the second half, it was basically Renaya and Ray doing the scoring. She said both. Texas A&M adjusted their defense, made it harder to do that, and Tennessee also missed some opportunities. And that's the kind of stuff that Lex is talking about having to clean up.
Yep.
And stick with your plan and value each possession. So that is another step for Tennessee to take.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something that Candace used to do and Big Nick used to do. Really, all of our post players, whether that was Todd Fluke or whoever was in, especially Shira, when they felt like they weren't getting that ball, they were ducking in so hard, 2 feet in the paint, yelling at the guards, which one was me. Give me the ball. Running back down the court, talking to the guard. Hey, listen, swing. I'm going to do this. Look for me inside. I have a mismatch. And I really don't see that communication or fierceness from our post. I see frustration. But I guarantee if Key and screen, duck in, keep demanding that basketball. Kelly will probably almost run on the court if the guards don't get those girls the ball. So definitely we need to do work on both ends. Post entry, our post getting a little tougher, and also being able to adjust once the defense makes adjustments, because you can't just not go to the paint. You know how I am, Maria. Inside out, pound it inside. Let's suck in the defense. Then that makes it easier for our outside game. You know, they'll pull out jump shots. Then we can continue to drive and push it back inside. It's supposed to be a repeating cycle, but I think we'll get there. We're not there yet, though.
And my friend Tony says, Maria, don't make me a villain. I love this team. Tony, I don't mean to make you a villain. I'm sure you and I would have a great time over some beer and talking about everything. So, I mean, no problem at all. Can I take a mama bear approach to some of this stuff? Yeah, I'm an old white lady. So, you know, I've reached the point where it's great being an old white lady with gray hair. You pretty much say what you want now.
Oh, man, Maria, you are lit tonight. You are turned up tonight. I love it.
It's and yeah, I mean, what you have is a senior post in Cassie who has turned her game around. Her 1-year development under Kelly Harper, she's a different player. She's turning herself into a pro prospect with this season, but she's not used to what you just talked about, demanding the ball. Tamari, she's a sophomore. I mean, and you're not always going to be the one to yell at the upperclassmen. Tamari may have to start. Tammy, we assign that to you. Tamari's got to start screaming for that ball, getting in those guards' ear. I do love the Jordan Horston to Tamari Key combination. Those two are figuring it out, and they're just sophomores. That bodes very well for Tennessee's future. But Alexis is spot on. Sometimes the post players have got to get mad and say, I am open, you're missing me, get me the ball.
Yeah, because it's going to make – because I agree. Our guards, we forced it in that second half, especially, you know, the second half of the third and the fourth quarter. I get it. We have in Davis and Burrell 2 great scorers and clutch scores, but at the same time, you don't have to force it. If you have, you shouldn't always have to force it. Do you have to force the issue sometimes? Yes, to make a play, but 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row? No, we have to adjust. We have to go to a different option. And then when the ball comes back around to you, let's see if it's your turn, but comes with age, but it also comes with communication. As Coach Summit always says, communication eliminates confusion. We have to talk to each other, ladies. We have to start to, when things get rough, I would like to see us huddle more. Hey, let's get it back together. Even if it's quick, all 5 heads in, say what you got to say, and let's go. I mean, we've had 1-2 second conversations that relit that spark under us. I can't say the words that we were saying to each other on this show, but it doesn't take a lot, but it does take togetherness.
And Terry Holder's in here with Orange Mountain Designs, which I probably need to point out again. I don't know if y'all got to it when I had no internet. Orange Mountain Designs is our lead sponsor of the Bucket 2MC show. We also have Blue Water Climate Control Tennessee Tap House. And Terry said, everyone get ready. Orange Mountain Designs will have a new special edition SEC tourney shirt available next week. It's hard to believe, but we're only 2 weeks away from the end of the regular season. So and then the SEC tournament, obviously 3,000 people total at games. It's going to be a very limited attendance postseason, just like everything this season. And Tennessee will be battle tested. That is for sure. They'll be battle tested before they get to Greenville. We had a Mississippi poster, Glenda Hoover. I live near Starkville, and the roads are already bad. Around 8 inches of snow predicted for tomorrow and tomorrow night. Okay, Lady Vol, just fly to Knoxville. I cannot think, and I know, apologies to anyone who lives in Starkville, I cannot think of a worse place to be snowed in my life.
Oh, no, that'd be terrible. Yeah, go back to Knoxville, go home, get some rest, try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if you like cows, you've got something to look at. And I like cows, but I mean, literally, if you're snowed in Starkville, you talk about stir crazy.
Yeah, not too much to do. Maria, before we start to kind of wrap things up, do you have anything else that people need to know about upcoming games, or news, SEC news?
What the big game, of course, is Thursday at home for Tennessee. They've only got 2 home games left. Is South Carolina. It's also the Live Pink Bleed Orange game. And if you go to my game story today or to Lady Vol's website, they want to honor a breast cancer survivors and fighters, and those that we have tragically lost with cutouts at the game. And so you need to nominate someone and send a photo and get somebody honored that would be a cutout in the game. They will have the cutouts at halftime to show, and someone among that group will win a game-worn Lady Vol pink jersey. So if you know someone, not me, I've been honored before, nominate someone else. Nominate someone who is deserving, and particularly someone fighting breast cancer right now, because that can really lift your spirits. But that's your big game right this week for Tennessee, South Carolina, and then you turn right around and go to Georgia Sunday, and that Georgia game is absolutely key to whether Tennessee is going to be able to grab that one of those 3 or 4 top seed slots. So those 2 games coming up are definitely games that will matter. Renee said Ole Miss and Mississippi State canceled their game today due to weather. We have no business trying to go there for a game tonight or tomorrow. At this point, I agree. I mean, Tennessee can't unilaterally say, okay, we're not going. The SEC would have to cancel the game. And Tony loves you guys. We will get better. Tony, you see, you and I are going to be best friends. We were bickering here 15 minutes ago. We're going to end this thing best friends, planning on getting together, sharing some drinks. See, anybody I get annoyed with, I end up being their best friend. So
it's the honesty. It's the honesty, man.
And yeah, like I said, Alexis knows me. I'm gonna take up for somebody. If I feel somebody's getting a little bit going a little too hard on somebody, I'll take up for them. Tony said, I know, right? Yeah, Tony, we're best buds, man. Let's connect on Facebook. We're best buds now. I'm actually a really nice person when I'm not being snippy on the show.
Oh, I just appreciate the entertainment, Maria. Thank you.
And half the time I'm kidding. I'm just trying to get a rise out of people. So
yeah, I know. I just glad it's not me. I just get to laugh and enjoy.
And I think we're all going stir crazy. I've been work from home for 11 months now. So this pandemic is exhausting. And if I'm exhausted, I can't imagine trying to play basketball in it. So Ray Burrell had 18 points. Tamari Key had 10 points and 10 boards. Does the ball need to get to Tamari more? Absolutely. I've been saying that since November.
Pounded inside.
This is competitive maturity, and this team is inching closer to it. But when those little times when they fall back, when they slip, that slippage is tough. It's tough to beat a top 5 team, and really, I think A&M's a top 4 team. They should be a 1 seed in the tournament.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to beat them on the road unless you play a perfect game. And despite that foul disparity of 34 free throws versus 15, Tennessee was right in this game.
Yeah, some of those calls were laughable that they were given to A&M. Very hilarious, guys. But I always say like this: if we're playing in a game and the refs feel like they need to help the other team, that's respect towards what we're doing. So if you have to help the other team beat us, like, why are you that scared? Why are you that worried? Let the players figure out who's going to take the win and let it walk away like that. I think, sometimes refs get caught up in what type of game it is, or whose home court they're on, or it's not a lot of fans in the stands, so they don't get caught up in that. But the coaches, and players that's talking on the sideline. But Lady Vols, again, to all of my baby Vols, that's what I call y'all. To all of my baby Vols, you got to find that fight, that dog that says, you know what, I am not going to lose, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Does that mean that you have that mindset and we go undefeated from here on out? Not necessarily, but will your games look totally different? Will you feel different? Will it put us in a different position going into postseason or NCAA tournament or even SEC tournament? Absolutely. Get mean, get mad, feel disrespected, and go out and take the SEC because they sure as hell ain't finna give it to us.
And that's why Alexis is on this show. She's a former player. She knows what it takes. She knows how to preach. And I've got some epic stories that I will not tell tonight. Maybe we'll tell them Wednesday about Alexis Hornbuckle after she left Tennessee, giving the team, and my dogs want to do something. My dogs will pull me out of the chair. There's something about Alexis, the way she motivated a team. We'll talk about that on our Wednesday Bucket 2MC show. Somebody asked, I've got a couple I hadn't told yet.
I'm excited and nervous.
If somebody asked, what do we do? What's on tap for Tuesday if there's no game? With Tennessee, just get on the practice court and get some time on the court. They haven't had any time on the practice court when you jam this many games together. They need that. So
yeah. And
then we'll do our regular show Wednesday, of course, Buck and 2MC. And if there is a game Tuesday, we'll do the Buck and 2MC show. But it's looking unlikely now. I'm not sure it's going to go. Marianne Daughtry said, Maria, I'm around your age, and I find most people around our age pretty much say it like it is. We do. That is the one benefit of getting old, and I'll be 59 this year, is you can just start saying whatever you want. And they're like, oh, she's got gray hair. She's a gray-haired old lady. Don't worry about her. So I tell people it is when you get old, you can do that. So
I'm looking forward to it, to that day when you can say whatever I want.
You can. I've had to watch
without getting in trouble because I used to say whatever I want, but there was consequences.
Oh, so did I. I spent most of my early life in trouble because of my mouth. So, but now when you're older, you don't get in trouble anymore. You don't get to say it.
It doesn't matter. All right, Maria, you want to drop one more line to our sponsors before we start?
Yes, OrangeMountainDesigns.com. Please support them at Orange Mountain Designs. The store's not open now because of the pandemic, but it will hopefully be open at some point. Go to OrangeMountainDesigns.com, get all the things you need, even shot glasses. I think everybody could use a shot glass during some games this year. So get you a shot glass. And Tennessee Tap House, that's where we're all going for beer when we get out of this pandemic. And Blue Water Climate Control, they're about to be busy too, particularly if your heat goes out, because we're about to have some pretty bad weather our way too. Everybody, please stay safe, stay warm. Don't try to drive on ice in the South. Southerners don't do ice. We have no idea how to drive on ice. I'm not sure anybody can drive on ice. Do not drive on ice. Don't try. Stay home. Walk. Do anything.
Do anything. Like stay home. Again, thank y'all for everyone that watched us today on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or if you just logged into the volunteerroadshow.com and clicked on the link. Regardless, we appreciate you. Make sure you press that like button, press the thumbs up, share it. All right, follow us, help keep us doing this great work of breaking down Lady Vol basketball for y'all post games and even at least once a week. And that once a week now, Wednesday nights at 7 is where Maria and I get to have a whole lot more fun because it's not just about the games. And she likes to kind of embarrass me or call me out every once in a while, but I love it because actually I get to remember stories that I probably forgot. So that's awesome. So y'all make sure y'all tune in Wednesday. We will keep you updated if we do or do not have a game on Tuesday. But until then, we love you and we thank you. Go Lady Vols.
I love everybody. I love you too, Tony. We're best friends now, Tony Hill. Peace out, guys.
Bye, y'all.